Ladies and gentlemen, you wanted it. Even on a Sunday, we're back. We're taking no days off here on Sportswire Radio because we have a lot to get to. And with everything going on in the world, in a sense, I think we need a lawman. Maybe we need a lawman with everything going on out there. And he's got a lot on his mind. He's got a lot on his plate. He's got responses plus an announcement here at the top. So I'm looking forward to getting just straight to the nitty gritty, cut to the chase. So without further ado, here on the Sports Report, the number one global sports show, pro wrestling star here, and 1/3 of the Society of Nonstop Action Wrestling. That's the Lemon Kyle Kennedy. Mr. Lawman, how are you?
Mr. Brice, not in the best of moods, unfortunately, but what it is.
It is what it is. Obviously, a lot going on out there in the world. There is already comments here. Also, Colin McGregor is with us from CCW. Colory Championship Wrestling had their own show yesterday, which, again, was another sellout, another barn burner. Thank you, Colin, for tuning in. Looking forward to speaking with you again in the near and distant future from the Cold Not Dole event recap and much, much more. And another individual says, let's go, Kyle Kennedy. So clearly the fans are definitely here. They're ready for you. In fact, even our guest who's going to be on here, we'll get to him in a little while, who's going to be on right after you in about an hour or so. Supersonic Sammy Blue continues to chime in and back and forth with you, and I'm sure we'll get his side of the story in a little while. And certainly Colin McGregor says it was a blast. And then speaking of somebody that you know very well, who you've been in the ring with and defeated, Champ Rogers, the super dad and the patriarch, says, always here to support my son. But I'll get to him. But I do know very quickly, and I want to spend a few minutes, that there is some breaking news because as we speak, this weekend, coming up next weekend, I know you're here with us this weekend, but next weekend, the lawman, Kyle Kennedy, you are going to be a busy man apparently. So tell us why, especially for those that are watching and listening to this on Sportswire Radio.
So I'll try and perk myself up for this one, but very exciting news. I'm branching out. The lawman is wanted, and it's very wonderful and honourable and pleasurable for people to want Mr. Justice. And in fact, I'm quite known to be quite the century man, if you will, in Rumbles. And, well, back at Christmas Carnage, the first ever NSAW show, we had the Christmas Rumble, and I lasted the third longest, supposedly.
Oh, okay.
So I'm planning on lasting until the very final limits and lasting until number one and winning the whole thing because, ladies and gentlemen, non-binary and all those alike, the lawman is coming to Blackheart Wrestling July 3rd.
Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, this is just huge. I'm expecting the lawman Kyle Kennedy, maybe he's shooting a new promo. I'm expecting the lawman Kyle Kennedy, maybe some new merchandise. But I didn't expect, after everything you've said here, everything you've done, that you're actually going to be in action. So clearly the lawman Kyle Kennedy, Blackheart Wrestling, knew what they were doing, and they knew that a Rumble and an event wouldn't be the same without the lawman Kyle Kennedy.
Certainly seems that way, Mr. Brice.
Well, it better be. Certainly, obviously, we're going in this to win it, I would assume.
Absolutely.
Good. Well, I'm certainly looking forward to that there, my friend. Obviously, congratulations. Certainly, you are one of the more hot commodities in all of professional wrestling right now because you are undefeated. You are right now the next Ryback, the next Goldberg, the next Ultimate Warrior, anybody else who was undefeated. So clearly, you've got a real shot at this here. In fact, people are even really, really, really excited about this. Supersonic Sammy Blue even says, And of course, this individual says here, Kyle Kennedy making an appearance at Blackheart Wrestling. Shows some heart. Can't wait. I mean, what does this mean to you in terms of your career now going to work in another company, especially in a Rumble after the success that you've had in Nonstop Action Wrestling? What does that mean to you?
It means a lot. I very much appreciate the fact that I'm highly sought after. I'm giving them a hot commodity right now, seemingly. I'm a new prospect on the block. There's not very many big men like me in wrestling. And I very much appreciate the management and bosses over at Blackheart Wrestling for coming at me, wanting me there, and pretty much saying, "Hey, we want you to win the Rumble." They haven't said those words. They don't need to, because I'm going to.
Listen, you're in the running, so automatically they could say win, lose, or draw, or nothing. You're there to win it. And clearly, something tells me, I mean, would there be, I always like to ask this question to people that are in these Rumbles, and I'm sure you're hearing a lot about these different Rumbles over the past few weeks, and it seems to be, I guess, Rumble season right now in the UK this summer. So I guess I have to ask him, is there anybody that you'd like to maybe lock up with, or, oh, I don't know, throw over the top rope next Sunday?
I don't know who else is in there other than myself, but there's a few familiar faces, I would assume. I don't want to wait too long to get my hands back on the Super Dad, so fingers crossed he's in there.
The Super Dad.
Sammy Blue, that stupid little blue-haired muppet, he better be in there, because he's going to go, wee! Just like Champ is going to go, wee! Just like 29 other people are going to go, wee, over that rope, and I will come out victorious. There's plenty of names that not only I would love to face, but would love to face me. And you know what? Whoever is in there, you're a target for the lawman, and I am apologizing for that, because there ain't no way out for you. Once you're in that ring with me, it's goodbye, good night, sayonara, you lose, I win.
Well, I'll tell you what, certainly those are some very poetic words here, to say the least. And this individual says here, evening, gents, and certainly this individual is definitely a fan of us, and I have an idea who the individual may know of, but that's here nor there. The Lawman Kyle Kennedy, I see it tonight, and I almost feel like it's a more mature, a more serious Lawman Kyle Kennedy. Tonight, I feel like that this could be the beginning of a big month ahead or two for you, because I see you tonight. The first time you came on, I see something different right now. I think that this could be the start of a huge month ahead right now, just the way I see. And I got some comments in here. I'll get to a few more of those, but you feel the same right now. It's almost like the beginning of a new Lawman Kyle Kennedy in a sense.
Absolutely, I would agree with you there, Mr. Brice. As I say, it's the beginning of the end. And I don't mean that oh no, the world's coming to an end, I'm going to end my career, blah, blah, blah. No, it's the end for everyone else, all the other people on top. It's the end for the champions who are on top. It's the end for the people who are on top of the wrestling business right now. Because unfortunately, it's the end for them, and it's the rise of the lawman. I'm coming for every single little scrape, and I'm not leaving a damn crumb. I'm coming for everything and anything that is in my way, and I will roll you over. No questions asked. No apologies needed.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen here, very strong words. I've got a few comments, a particular individual that you mentioned a few minutes ago, but I'll get to him in a few minutes, and I have an announcement that I think I'm just going to get to soon. But let me get to a good comment here, and says, do you think anyone in the Rumble could be a challenge? That's a good question. What do you think?
Depends who's in there. If it's the likes of who knows, maybe a disciple. He's a bit.
Well, you mentioned the magic word here on this show. You mentioned the magic word. He's coming on Thursday, and he's faced his own injustices similar to you of late, my friend.
Well, hopefully that's something that we can settle down the road. That's certainly a dream match of mine, and it would be a pleasure for him to go down to the lawman.
Ooh.
What? If it was the likes of a disciple, of a Champ Rogers, possibly a Tommy Dillon, maybe a few wrestling legends out there who haven't been in the ring in a while want to step in, we're always up for a nice little nostalgia pop, so who knows? But, at the end of the day, it ain't going to matter because the winner is always going to be inevitably Mr. Justice, the lawman, Kyle Kennedy. So that's all I got to say about that. I'm not focused on anyone else. Everyone else is focused on me, it seems. That ain't going to change.
Well, look at you. Look at the size, ladies and gentlemen, of the lawman, Kyle Kennedy. Look at this man right now. He's an up-and-coming star. He's undefeated, 4-0. He's, again, one of the few people in all of wrestling right now undefeated. I would be coming at you, looking at you too right now.
Absolutely. And to add to your little undefeated streak thing, I would like to also give another announcement that has notched up by one. So it's no longer 4-0, it's now 5-0. So, hopefully that pleases NSAW management because seemingly an undefeated guy on the roster who's been on every single show, had banger matches, who's not even good enough for your precious little tournament, maybe that'll impress you enough now that I've gone up to 5-0. And just to add another little notch onto it, Mr. Brice, I have all the appreciation and respect for you in the world, but please understand this, I'm not the next Goldberg. I'm not the next Ryback. I am the first and only Kyle mother-loving Kennedy.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, certainly I would want to be the lawman Kyle Kennedy right now because guys like Goldberg and Ryback, they're yesterday's news. He's today's news.
Absolutely.
I'll get to a few comments in here from a second from a number of different people, but tell me your thoughts on this because I think in these Rumbles, they favor somebody like you because when you think about in terms of size, you think about the strength, you think about how to be able to last in something like this. I think right now, for any Rumble, and especially next week for Blackheart Wrestling, which is going to be taking place right around this time here, you got to feel really confident about this. I have to think right now, you're going into this really feeling like, you know what? Automatically, I can legitimately win. I should be favored here.
And you are absolutely right, Mr. Brice. Absolutely. I have never been all that low on confidence. I'm a very confident man, and there's a reason for that. Look at me. I'm fast, I'm strong, I'm handsome, I'm talented. I'm the next up-and-coming big thing, not only in UK wrestling, but the wrestling business as a whole. And next Sunday, at Galsley Theatre in Leeds at Blackheart Wrestling. This time next week, I will send you an Instagram DM and I will just simply say the words, winner.
Well, I'll tell you what, I feel like I very well might just be a winner just from speaking with the lawman Kyle Kennedy, who, ladies and gentlemen, for those that are tuning in here on Sportswire Radio and watching also on Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn, Northeast Streaming Sports Channel, and everywhere else here, that he has broke the news here for us. July the 3rd, he is going to be in the Blackheart Wrestling Rumble here, and there is no question that the earth is definitely going to rumble at Blackheart Wrestling. And let me get to some comments in here. And Colin McGregor, of course, who does a great job for CCW, Colory Championship Wrestling, which has done work for Nonstop Action Wrestling, says here, Kyle, just take out one of those guys in the tourney and take their place. I would advise. So he says take out one of the guys in the tourney and just take their place when it comes to Nonstop Action Wrestling. We'll get to them in a second. Also here, he says Kyle does not lack confidence. So I think that would certainly would be agreed with here. And I got a good question here, and that is, with the number of opponents in action at one time, do you have a game plan for the Rumble? Now, I would advise you, don't tell us the game plan, but if you want to answer it for this fan here, let us know.
Zipped, throw away the key. I'm not telling these idiots anything. Why would I give away my strategy? Are they that stupid?
Well, I think they want to actually tell it to other wrestlers so they can figure out how to beat you at your own game. That's why I told you, to be fair. I actually told you, don't tell the plan. Don't give it away. I actually did give you advice on that.
Exactly, and I appreciate that, Thomas. I really do, so thank you. But I'm not that stupid. I'm actually quite intelligent, which clearly states more than the facts for the people in the comments of this video asking ridiculous questions like that.
Okay, well, certainly, let's get to some more comments. We have an individual that says, we want Sammy. Certainly, you're going to have to wait because we got the lawman Kyle Kennedy with us here in the house. And speaking of supersonic Sammy Blue, he continues to have his issues with you, and certainly we'll get to those in a little while. But he says, technically, taking away from me and Champ would leave 27 others, including yourself, Kyle. You're great at maths.
I'm also great at whipping ass, as you know, and so does Champ.
Okay, short, simple, straight and to the point. Certainly, the lawman Kyle Kennedy is definitely letting supersonic Sammy Blue his side of the story. And speaking of the champ here, and I have an announcement in a few minutes related to the champ. So certainly, the champ is here, as some might say, and that is Champ Rogers, of course, the patriarch and the super dad and the master of the hug and everything else in between. Says, don't worry, Kylie. Is it? Are you trying to be facetious and call him Kylie? Because he says Kylie here. There's a hug waiting for you, whether it's on the way to the ring in the Rumble or while you're walking backstage after you get eliminated. I don't think he was kidding on that last one. Lawman, give us the response here.
Just the fact that he's, why is he even trying? What is the point? He's a loser, just like Sammy. I'm a serial winner, unlike them two. You can call me your cute little weird pet names like a creepy little hugger you are and your weird little freaky blue-haired friend. I couldn't care less. You're irrelevant to me, so I don't know why you both keep coming back and biting at me, because you both know that my bite is far worse than my bark. So, listen, you can try and hug me again, and what will happen, what happened back at Exordium on March 6th, I will whoop you again, and I'll whoop Sammy again, and I'll whoop every other person in that Rumble. And then I'll do this, and then the rest can get in, and then they can do this and raise my arm, and then I'm gonna do this and show everyone else what I am, a winner. So, Champ, you can keep on with your funny little jokes, and Sammy, you can keep pretending you're friends with everybody, because I'm Sammy Blue and I've got purple hair, and yay, I'm so happy and lovable, and yay, life, woohoo! I hate people like you, and I hate almost everybody. So listen, Champ, Sammy, I apologize for talking over you there, Tom, but both of you, please, for the love of the man in the sky, do not turn up next Sunday. Because what happened at Summertime Slaughterhouse to you, Sammy, what happened at Exordium to you, Champ, will be far worse with a theatre full of expecting fans and other wrestlers. I don't even want to say it because I know it's quite a family-friendly radio show here, so I'm not going to say the words that I want to say, but just know, be warned, both of you. I'm not in the best of moods right now, so just imagine a week's worth of pent-up frustration. Okay? Do not test me now, and certainly don't test me next Sunday.
Ladies and gentlemen, this might have been one of the most impactful comments from any wrestler that we've had here on Sportswire Radio. And I'm going to come back to Champ Rogers, but I have a few big names because you mentioned some big names a few minutes ago when it came to the Rumble at Blackheart Wrestling. But let me get to an individual first. This individual you might have heard of. His name is Gareth Thompson. By any chance that ring a bell? He says, best of luck in the Blackheart Rumble. Once you have beaten everyone else in nonstop action wrestling, who else needs a taste of the lawman? You think there's anybody else out there that individual might know, or any other companies you think out there that that individual might know of that might want or maybe want to give a phone call to the lawman Kyle Kennedy, you think?
I mean, I'd certainly, for that individual, put my hands together and pray for a lawman to come and save you all over at a certain wrestling promotion. You know where to find me. You know what to do. Hit me up if you would like a little bit of justice served and butt whooping and butts in seats.
Do you feel maybe a little disrespected by that individual and the fact maybe he hasn't called you, especially as you've told us you're actually 5-0 right now, the lawman Kyle Kennedy?
Absolutely. Of course I feel disrespected. That's why I'm so annoyed. I feel disrespected by NSAW management, and they know who they are. Certain two individuals who I will not name simply because they do not deserve the time of day. But you know what? I am insulted. I'm insulted by the people in these comments. I'm insulted by other promotions that seem to think they don't need the lawman. And then when suddenly the views pick up and they see me and they hear me and they see my fury, then they're interested. When I've reached out and then suddenly it's, oh, okay, so yeah, I feel disrespected. But trust me, if you need me, I will be there. I love this business. I love wrestling. But at the end of the day, I just love hurting people. And if Mr. Thompson knows a certain somebody who is worthy of justice being served and the lawman entering a certain place in a certain city, which I am a homeboy of, again, as mentioned, hit me up. You know
I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, if you are not following right now, if you're on Facebook or any other platform, you're not following this man. It's a new lawman Kyle Kennedy. It's not a joyful, it's not a retrospective. It's now an impactful. It's a man right now who's on a mission. You follow him on Twitter, Lawman K. Kennedy. Mr. Justice Kyle Kennedy on Instagram. Like his Facebook page. Also YouTube, you can subscribe to his page because this man right now, he seems like a more mature, a more motivated, you name it, right now, he feels it. So if you're on Sportswire Radio right now, in fact, Colin McGregor right now said he sees so much in you right now that he may come down and pay a visit next weekend to watch you win that Rumble very well, possibly. So apparently CCW is scouting you apparently next weekend. So clearly there is definitely people out there that want to see you. And James Westney says, you're undefeated for now. Yawn man. Like to see you win a match without those clowns from the society. You want to respond to? Because I got a bit of a big name to comment also to read off in a minute. So get to him right now.
Response to James Westney. Oh, that's it's funny. I don't need Remus or DeCaro. I don't need the society. I don't tell them what to do. Richard tells us what to do. Richard guides us. Just like Remus doesn't tell us what to do, or DeCaro doesn't tell anybody what to do. We're guided by the wonderful, bright light of Richard Knights on a path of destruction like no other. So it's not my fault if I've actually got friends in this business, because you know what they say, you can either make friends or make money. And I've been very, very lucky in that sense to make just a little bit of both, unlike you.
All right. Well, certainly, again, right now it is a new and improved, now 5-0, the lawman Kyle Kennedy. And apparently Mr. Thompson heard so much from you that he wanted to respond. He says, don't be disrespected, Kyle. You're doing all the right things. Your time will come.
I don't know why, but that comes off very patronizing. And I don't like to be patronized. It's almost like I'm being talked down to like a little child. It's like, oh, don't worry, Kyle. It's okay. You're undefeated. You're putting butts in seats. All the shows you've been on have been sold out. You put on every single match you do is a big banger, and everyone watches and tunes in. Very patronizing from you, sir, whoever you are. It would be a wonderful thing if I actually gave a damn what people thought of me. But luckily for them, I don't. Otherwise, their opinions would matter. But the only opinions that matter to me are my wonderful Dark Lord Remus, Richard Knights, and Dakara. And off.
You said something interesting real quick. I know I'm behind on some of these comments. I'll get to them here. But you mentioned that certain company is in your hometown, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, from my understanding, and help me parcel this out here, they have an event on the 16th of July. You might have heard of it in the Fountains Church. And correct me if I'm wrong. They're also having a Rumble.
Indeed.
I'm going completely off the cuff here, and certainly I don't know if this is a pipe bomb or a work shoot or a shoot, whatever you want to call it, fill in the blanks. But what's your schedule on July 16th?
I'm a free man.
Oh, you're a free man.
So now,
okay. You're a free man, so you are free on the 16th.
Absolutely, Mr. Brice.
So you think that maybe for that company that might be having something in the Fountains Church that you would be free. So you would be free.
Absolutely. My Instagram, my Twitter, my YouTube, my Facebook, everything is open. My email. I just recently set up an email.
Oh, you have an email now. Would you like to share that email for us here live tonight?
I've forgotten it, I believe.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. You got YouTube, you got Facebook, you got Twitter,
it's in my Instagram bio if you would like to jump over at some point and read it out.
I'll tell you what. I'm going to do you a favor. I know you're very, very angry right now. I'm very upset, the lawman Kyle Kennedy. I'll plug your Instagram. I'll plug your Twitter. I'll plug your YouTube and your Facebook for you. Your Twitter, for those who might be listening, is Lawman K. Kennedy. Mr. Justice Kyle Kennedy on Instagram. Facebook, you're with us right now. You can definitely go and follow him and like him also on YouTube as well. So those are places I'm sure that not only that company in your hometown, but any company can get in touch with the lawman Kyle Kennedy for.
Certainly.
But let me get to an individual that we sort of addressed here in some way or another. And he says here that he has a friend named Disciple who says that he saw your post earlier now. He gets that you've been on shows and you're undefeated in 5 matches. You put the ring up and put it down. But, dude, that's your job. You're a rookie in the business. You need to pay your dues, and you're not entitled. Disciple from this individual who's friends with Disciple said he ran 2 training sessions and you weren't there. Maybe start walking before you can run. Strong words again from Disciple, professional wrestler, from this individual who happens to know Disciple. So would you like to respond to that individual so they can pass the message to that professional wrestler Disciple, who, by the way, is also coming back here once again Thursday night, 8 p.m. British Standard Time?
Whoever they are, thank you for your comment. I couldn't care less whether or not you're friends with Disciple. Quite frankly, I couldn't care less about Disciple. But I was there at the venue, seeing you train all the other rookies. And the fact of the matter is this: I don't feel the need to get into the ring and be trained by Disciple, because I know how good I am. I don't feel the need to jump in the ring and try and impress Disciple, because again, I know how good I am. You can call me a rookie, you can say I need to pay my dues. You are correct on that. I'm doing my own thing. Unlike everyone else in this business that seemingly needs to feel like they need to kiss butt and be like, oh yeah, please, sir. Nah, I'm doing my own thing. I'm doing the Kyle Kennedy thing. And I don't need your approval, the disciples' approval, anyone else's approval. Only person people I need to impress, as stated previously, is my brethren of the society.
Okay, I do have to get to that individual we addressed a few minutes ago because he does have a response that you might want to hear. So this individual, and he makes a point that you can take it for what you want, says, since it's in your hometown, how come you haven't attended their training school? You talk a big game, but I'd say your attitude might not be helping you get in these promoters' good books.
Why haven't I attended the GT Ministries
Is that the
training?
company? Is that the company?
I believe so, considering you've stated they've got an event in July
Oh,
at
that's
the
right.
Fountains Church in Bradford. Why haven't I attended? Well, first of all, I live all the way. Well, I'm not going to dox myself and tell you where I live because I'm
Yeah,
not
don't
that
do that because
stupid.
there are people like Champ Rogers that might want to give you a hug.
Well, exactly. And getting in people's good books, as again I stated, it's like you people don't listen. I could care less about your people's opinions and feelings. I'm not here to put smiles on faces and entertain people and make people happy and be like, wow, look at that guy. Nah, I'm here to step in that ring, kick ass, and leave. So as to why I haven't attended training sessions at GTM, well, I don't quite frankly need, let alone, I don't need to. I have my own place, and I'm very happy there. If you wish for me to come, you could be like, hey, come on down, you know? But I don't need to, or want to for that matter, because there's a reason why that's my hometown and I don't live there anymore, is because it's a dump.
Wow. Certainly, ladies and gentlemen, extremely strong words here from the lawman, Kyle Kennedy, who is definitely in a mood that I haven't seen any wrestler on Sportswire Radio being in a very, very long time in here. And an individual here who, by the way, want to give him a huge happy birthday wish because it is his birthday. His name is Danny Lose. I'm sure you've might have heard or know of Danny Lowe, so I want to make sure I give him a very, very happy birthday. I did promise I give him a birthday wish, and I did want to at least take a second to wish a happy birthday here to Danny. He says, just got here, not sure if it's been asked, but where does the name come from? I mean, Lawman Kyle Kennedy. Where does the name come from?
Well, it's a bit boring, but I remember one of the first ever wrestling games I actually bought was, and it's still my favorite to this day, was SmackDown versus Raw 2007. And I was going on when you go on the roster bit and you drop down, you can pick your characters and whoever you want to be. And the first person I saw was Mr. Kennedy! And that was beautiful. That should be an opera singer.
That was pretty good. I have to say, I mean, I thought I did good. You should just do your own intro. You did pretty good. I don't need to host anymore. You could ask the questions and just answer them yourself.
And that was the first person I saw. And he had blonde hair. And as a kid, I don't know why, but I always wanted blonde hair. So I was like, oh, he looks cool. And he's just got like it was quite a unique name. His name was just Mr. and then Kennedy, So I was like, oh, that's quite normal. Bit bland, bit cool, but he looks cool. And, so I just thought, hey, Kennedy. And then my name, I always wanted to be called Kyle. I don't know why. I just didn't like my name, so I always wanted my name to be
tough name. I mean, I used to play basketball with a kid named Kyle Smith, and he kind of came across like you did, had an attitude, and kind of was a big guy. So, yeah, you did kind of remind me of that. So I could see why the Kyle came in there for the first name.
And then I just went, hey, KK, that's pretty cool. Kyle Kennedy. So yeah, that's pretty much where the whole Kyle Kennedy thing came from. I was playing 2K, not 2K, SmackDown vs. Raw 2007, came across Mr. Kennedy, and that's how it came. It's stuck ever since.
That's a great question and a great answer. But that individual who you just addressed, who you spoke of, he certainly has a comment, and he says, well, if kicking ass is your only goal, maybe a real test might need putting in front of you. He says he knows a guy who likes a challenge. I mean, you have a thought on that, certainly?
Well, if you know a guy, it feels like this is just turning into a big plug and promotion for my socials. But again, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook Messenger, all my socials, my friend, are open. Get that individual to send me a message and we can pick a date, any date. It can happen tomorrow. It doesn't even have to be in a ring. I just love a fight. So,
So you fight even, you don't even have to be in that company. You just want to have a fight somewhere in the street.
I've got a lot of anger in me right now, Mr. Brice. So yeah, if I can get here in the next hour or so, I'll fight them then. I'll fight live on stream. But if that person knows a certain individual that likes a challenge and I like a challenge and likes a fight and I like a fight, get them in touch with me, my friend, and I will be sure to put on a show you will never forget.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you what. Again, Mr. Justice Kyle Kennedy on Instagram, Lawman K Kennedy on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Kyle Kennedy. Certainly, he is the place to be to find on social media. All those places, definitely find him. I have a few comments. I'll run by them here real quick. Danny says, thank you for the birthday wishes. And Danny then asks where particularly the name Lawman came from before I get to a few others real quick.
When I first debuted or did my character profile, if you will, for NSAW, the social media person at the time quoted me as being called the Lawman of NSAW, and I was like, oh, okay. Because originally, as it states on Instagram, I was originally called Mr. Justice Kyle Kennedy. Oh, yes. Well, no, originally it was just Justice Kyle Kennedy. And then the whole Mr. Justice thing was just like a moniker. And then the whole lawman thing, and I was like, you know what, that sounds pretty cool, that. I'm going to switch it up. You know, it sounds more modern, more me. So I'm going to switch the Mr. Justice and the whole law justice thing and just crank it up, and it looks pretty good on a shirt as well. So
I tell you what, we got to figure out how to get a shirt like the Lawman Kyle Kennedy has on right now, and certainly everybody else should as well, because again, he's undefeated. He's one of the premier up-and-coming wrestlers right now, not just in the UK, but also in the world, and he has certainly had a lot to say here. And to recap once again here on Sportswire Radio, he is going to be next week at Blackheart Wrestling, July the 3rd at their Rumble, and he's going to certainly be somebody that is going to be one of those participants that very well could win. He did very well in the Nonstop Action Wrestling Rumble on their first event, and he's very well going to be at the top of the list of people that can win it. I am the host of the Sports Report, the station manager here of Sportswire Radio, the Reverend Tom Brice. And if you like what you hear from us on Sportswire Radio, do give us a like on Facebook at Sportswire Radio, and 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. You can listen to all of our content on sportnarium.com/player. In a little while, we will hear from Supersonic Sammy Blue. It's supposed to be about 15 minutes or so. We're going to give the Lawman Kyle Kennedy maybe another 10 more minutes, so we'll hang out with him about 25 minutes, because I have an announcement in a few minutes related to the Lawman Kyle Kennedy that he's going to want to know about and respond to. So we'll get to that here shortly, and a few more comments in here. Supersonic Sammy Blue says, I, for one, attended those sessions, and they were a great experience. Much respect for Disciple. Although something tells me Disciple, I don't know if he feels the same way about Supersonic Sammy Blue.
There he is, Sammy Blue, kissing Bo again and thinking everyone is his friend. Embarrassing. You're an embarrassment, Sammy. Grow up.
And this individual says here, actually defends you, says, I've been lucky enough to witness Mr. Kennedy's training resume, and he goes hard. So apparently this individual says that you are training and you're doing a good job. So apparently information is being passed, I guess, in different channels, and different wrestlers feel different things. So I don't know. I mean, I'm going to take it for face value. I'll try to figure it out. And I always say, we'll see what happens here. And Supersonic Sammy Blue says, everyone is my friend, maybe apart from you, Kyle. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll move on from that. We'll move on from that. So I got a good one here. What made you want to be a wrestler?
I've just always loved wrestling as a kid. It's the one thing that really kept me tuned in. It's the one thing that always, I never got bored of, I've just, always loved these larger than life characters. They're like superheroes, and as a kid, like me, when I was a kid, I was down on my luck. We weren't particularly all, I was a poor kid, in a rough area. And, seeing your larger than life superheroes fight the good fight and defeating the bad guys and all that, and doing something that I loved watching, which was wrestling, just really enticed me. And, I kind of figured, I want to do that someday. I want to put on incredible matches, and hopefully there's a kid out there someday that watches a Kyle Kennedy match and says, yo, that dude is badass. I want to do that because he looks badass, like I did when I saw the likes of Stone Cold, of The Rock, of Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and so on. And funnily enough, my favorite wrestler of all time is Shawn Michaels. But my favorite person in wrestling is The Miz. I was a fan of The Miz before it was cool to be a fan of The Miz. Before everyone was like, oh, he's so cool. He's like such good mic skills. And, before the whole 2016 thing on Talking Smack.
With Daniel Bryan, yep.
Yeah. I was a fan of The Miz before everyone else was. And, and Shawn Michaels is my all-time favorite wrestler. And like I said, just seeing, a poor boy from West Yorkshire living a dream like I am doing right now, living up to seeing those larger-than-life superheroes that I looked up to as a kid. And I'm not going to lie, it helps getting a little bit of frustration and anger out as well. It's,
well, you're undefeated. I can see why. I mean, certainly you want to show and get the respect that you deserve, and certainly
absolutely.
Those are some things here. And I've got young Horace, who was with us last Thursday and sort of, I guess, defends you in a way, and says, I can relate to Kyle's attitude as it was one I shared when I debuted. However, I didn't have a winning streak, so have tried changing. But as they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So.
Well, clearly, Mr. Horace, you need to fix a lot because. Wow.
It's a tough streak he's on. It's a tough streak.
I would have retired by now if I was on your streak. All respect to you. You have to give respect to your fellow wrestlers for getting in and grinding and doing this thing, because it's a tough business. But plus 30 losing streak? And that's one thing I don't get. I don't get my flowers and my respect, and I'm 5-0. I'm a winner. Young Horace is plus 30-0 on the losing side.
0-32 now, I think. It's 0-32, I think.
And yet he gets his flowers, he gets respect, and young Horace is a loser. And I, Kyle Kennedy, am a winner. Why do I not get that respect that he's getting when he's losing all the time and I'm winning all the time? I don't get it. It's ridiculous.
Well, I got a few comments, and I want to get to I'm going to get to my announcement now at the end, because I do have a bunch of comments, and I feel like I need to get to them. So let me see who else I have in here that. Well, Champ Rogers. Well, that's gonna at the end of the show here. Before we get to Supersonic Sammy Blue, that'll be my announcement with Champ Rogers. So we're gonna have to get to that here in about 10 or 15 minutes. But Champ says I'd be undefeated too if I had Tweedledee and Tweedledum from the society to come save me when I start losing. So. Now I have a good one here that's in. Well, actually, I got a few. Now I've actually got people that are responding to you. So apparently, you've triggered people tonight. You have triggered people. The Lawman Calcan. You have definitely triggered people. Young Horace says we've never had a match, so your boys needed both of them to get a win over me. 0-32 and still more over than Kyle Kennedy. Ooh.
I'm not even going to dignify with a response because I don't see why I should reply to a loser. It's embarrassing. I'd be embarrassed if I was you, Horace. Don't know why. What's with all this pride you've got? But just take the mask off and leave the business. If I was you. 0-32, is that right?
Yep. 0-32.
Embarrassing. I might have Tweedledum and Tweedledee. I actually have friends. You just have losers in the crowd chanting, "Let's go, Horace!" And they only clap, 4 or 5 times because, well, people in Batley only know how to count to 4 or 5. So that's unfortunate. And, well, clearly the people in Batley are fans of young Horace as well. It's embarrassing, honestly. Just hang up the mask and just go. Because if I had an 0-32 streak, if I had an 0-2 streak, let alone 0-32, I'd just ain't for me this one. So I don't get what this hustle is and this pride. Like I'm this young, cool, hip dude in a mask who fights for pride and shows, even though I'm a loser, I'm still a winner in your hearts. That is pathetic.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, certainly, I guess from the vantage point of the Lawman Kyle Kennedy, the Three Doors Down song "Loser" would definitely be poetic for young Horace. So certainly, those are some points here. But somebody says, I didn't like wrestling until I watched a Kyle Kennedy match. So apparently somebody out there is a fan of yours.
You.
Somebody out there likes you. So there's somebody out there likes you, but
if anyone in NSAW management is watching, first of all, I'm going to keep repeating what I keep saying every single live stream. Put me in the tournament.
I've got a comment related to that. Don't you worry. I have somebody that actually brings that point up.
But again, don't you finally getting my respect. Thank you, whoever you are. You are a wonderful lady. I'm going to show them on the screen
in a minute. I promise you that I will, but I have to get to that response from this individual that certainly knows Disciple very well. So this individual says, the message from Disciple Professional Wrestler says that next time he's up running training sessions, that you should get involved and see how good you really are. And if you can hang with the big boys of professional wrestling, it's all good talking the talk, but it's a whole other thing backing it up.
I'm sorry, what happened there? I blanked out.
You want me to repeat that for you?
No, I'm just very tired, and I wasn't paying attention to
I see.
Whatever that person was saying, because quite frankly, I don't care.
Okay, so that's basically, forget it. You're not even in the stratosphere for you. All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
So this individual here, Scott Slim says, seeing college training a few times, and I don't understand why he hasn't been announced to be in the tournament at Fire and Gold, which is, by the way, August the 13th. So I got to ask you, I mean, actually, you know what? To be fair, the Lawman Kyle Kennedy, you're 5-0, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, 5-0? Undefeated, right? That's undefeated.
Yes,
right?
Sir.
Now, I would think that, especially if you are undefeated. Now, I know we spoke about Conor Cage. We got into that. We got into his reasons why he thought he should be first and well, yada, yada, yada. But you are undefeated. So I would I would have to think that of the next 7 participants, the Lawman Kyle Kennedy would be in this tournament because you are right now, as far as I know, the only undefeated wrestler right now around, right? You are the only one, or one of the few, correct?
Exactly. Very, very good point, Mr. Brice.
All right. Well,
Just
I'm sure Mr. Snow has to be listening to this or watching.
you better be. If anyone else, if not Joshua Snow, the almighty NSAW boss, if anyone else is watching from management, listen to this man with the most gorgeous mutton chops, right?
Appreciate that.
Put me in the tournament.
I have to say, you should be in the tournament. I got to be honest now. I like to call things down the line here on Sportzwire. I like to give everybody a shot. I like to try to sort through everything and in between. You are undefeated. You have huge wins. You've obviously beat Champ Rogers, some would say in impressive fashion even. I mean, you were 4-0 the first time you came on. You're 5-0 now. I mean, to be fair, in this tournament, you want to have those that have actually won and haven't lost. And if you want to have a champion, I would think, or at least a crown one, you would be in the discussion. Now, certainly Disciple, you know how I feel about Disciple. He should definitely be in this. Goliath, I would think, should be in it, right? Obviously, Tommy Dillon, the wild card, you want to put him in, fine. But that would still leave a couple of more spots that are still left to be filled. I would think that the lawman Kyle Kennedy most certainly could be one of those participants to fill one of those spots. I mean, certainly, look, I'll get Dante O'Cara's position on it next week. You know, we'll have other people come on, undoubtedly. But I do think that the lawman Kyle Kennedy should most certainly be a participant in that tournament. So you have my word that I'll bring it up. And I'll even bring it up to Sammy Blue when he comes in a little while. I'll bring it up. I have no problem with that. We call it down the line here. I got a good one here. Where is a dream place for you to wrestle, Kyle? City, arena, or otherwise? It's a nice one.
Well, I was born in a little town called Halifax, West Yorkshire. And they have a beautiful open-air venue called the Peace Hall. And it would just be a true, legitimate childhood dream if I could get a ring in the middle of that beautiful venue and just put on a show, you know, in my hometown where I was born. You know, it would just be a true honor, you know. I'm a very proud Yorkshireman. Not quite like the Yorkshireman in UKW, because I don't wear a flat cap and brandish the Yorkshire Rose all over my gear like a weirdo. But I'm damn proud of my roots. I'm damn proud to be a Brit, damn proud to be a Yorkshire lad. And just having an event, a show in the middle of that beautiful place, the Peace Hall in Halifax, it's truly a dream. And hopefully one day that dream will be realized, just like me being a professional wrestler, that dream was realized. Hopefully the next dream is to get my backside in a ring in the middle of the Peace Hall in Halifax. So that was a wonderful question. That's actually perked me up a little bit. I'm not as angry now.
Well, and the next one you definitely like as well, because from, of course, our friends over at Sharper Designs, who I'm sure you know very well. What is your dream match? That's why I wanted to give a plug to Sharper Designs. And, of course, Sharper Designs, you can like their page on Facebook as well, because you get great designs like the Lawman Kyle Kennedy. So, obviously, from our friends over at Sharper Designs, what is your dream match that you'd like to be involved in?
Well, of course, as mentioned, I don't remember. I know it was this week on a podcast, but I can't remember who it was. But it might have been Connor. I believe it was Connor.
Yeah,
who mentioned everyone wants to face their head trainer. Everyone wants to face the man who trained them. Mm-hmm. So throwing anger and annoyance and everything out the window right now for NSAW. But honestly, it would be a true honor and a pleasure to get in the ring with the wild card, Tommy Dillon. I was in there with him, and I got a few shots in, and he got a few in on me for the Christmas Carnage Rumble. And it was so surreal just being in there, hitting your head trainer, and also getting hit by your head trainer. Um, it was an honor, and a little shout out to Tommy because he is severely underrated. Um, and he's very much deserving of all the success that he's had and all the success he has coming to him. Um, but yeah, it would just truly be an honor to wrestle Tommy Dillon. But also, my best friend is not a wrestler, but he's hoping to get into wrestling, and hopefully by the new year comes around, my best friend Travis, hopefully, he'll be in the business, we hope, and it would just be again another childhood dream, just for me and him to step in that ring. So yeah, I know that one's fairly petty and gushy. Oh, I want to fight my friend, but we've grown up together. We've watched and loved wrestling together, and it was just hopefully when he starts training sometime soon, somewhere down the road, myself and him can get in the ring, and just steal the show like every other time Kyle Kennedy steps in the ring. So yeah, Tommy Dillon, and hopefully one day my best friend Travis. So yeah.
I'd actually, you know what? Those are pretty good answers. I have to say, those were definitely answers that I appreciate that. And certainly this individual who's popped back in here says here, again, you might or may not know this individual, but I'll still bring him up anyway. Peace Hall is a cracking venue. I know GTM Tour. Angel and Andy Poole were in Swindon yesterday, and maybe they do GTM Halifax and get you on. Who from GTM would you want to go toe-to-toe with?
First of all, to that individual, that would be a high honor for me to, and if that happens, just that would truly be an honor, and I would be very, very appreciative if that happened. So thank you for opening the door, if you will, for that to happen in the future. Who in GTM? There's fair few. Of course, I can't say Tommy because that's cheating. Pride would be a lot of fun, I reckon, to work with. Rabbit seems quite like a big beastie boy like myself. I reckon we could not only tear the place to shreds, but certainly put on a hell of a show. And of course, the main man, Mr. Angel. Who wouldn't love to fight that man? I mean, have you seen him? He's incredible.
Oh, I know him very well. We've actually had him on Sportswire Radio. I know, Garrett. I've watched him in the ring. You don't have to explain it to me. I've seen Mr. Angel in the ring.
So yeah, in the middle of the Peace Hall in Halifax, whether it was Pride or Rabbit or Mr. Angel, either way, it'd be another sellout with the Lawman on the card, and put on one hell of a match. So yeah, any of those three want to hop in my DMs, if you will, settle the challenge, name a date, and hopefully we can get it done down the line. So yeah, those are certainly three individuals from GTM I would love to mix it up with. Absolutely.
And I want to throw a bonus in there. Because I'm sure this is going to get passed out there. I'm sure there's somebody on social media and somebody maybe who's in GTM, but I would love to see you and Bentley, the vigilante of pro wrestling, square off, because Bentley, you got to bring up Bentley.
Yeah, I was going to say Bentley, but...
good. I was like, where is Bentley? I was waiting for the Bentley reference. I mean...
Yeah, no, certainly, absolutely. Bentley is another one. But, he's I just feel like he's that little bit above me right now. And I feel
Ooh.
like, maybe one day, but I feel right now that someone like Pride or Rabbit or Angel, I could stand a chance with.
Okay. Okay.
But Bentley, certainly lately, as I've seen, has been on a whole nother level.
Oh, listen, right now, I mean, listen, we love Mr. Angel, obviously, for different reasons.
Oh,
But
yeah,
to
I
me,
know.
right now, in professional wrestling in the UK, my two hottest wrestlers in terms of just the runs they're on, leave aside Disciple, because we are big Disciple fans here on Sportswire. Right? I want to make sure that Disciple knows that we love him here on Sportswire. But it's Bentley and RPD. To me, it's Bentley and RP Davis right now that I think are obviously the two wrestlers that are just on a whole nother level. And let me run through a few comments here before I get to my announcement. I'm a Kyle Kennedy guy, so Danny Los agrees. Yeah, we're definitely Kyle Kennedy people here also. And the Lawman versus Sean Only would be great. Yeah, but Bentley beat Sean Only, so that was kind of my thinking. As much as Sean Only, I got a lot of respect for him. We spoke about Sean Only with the wild card Tommy Dillon for sure, but I think that right now that the Lawman might be able to handle Sean Only, because if Bentley did, that means that the Lawman should then be able to go to Bentley, but that's here nor there, and obviously those are some great things here. Very quickly, before I get to the announcement, because I want to get to the announcement and then bring Sammy Blue on here. This is a good one here, and who are your wrestling inspirations, and whose style do you base off your own? That's always a good one.
Wrestling inspirations. Chris Jericho certainly is one of them.
The
He's
guy
a
is
long,
still going. He's like 500 years old, and he's still going.
like not as old as MC2, but
That's true. That's true. I mean, MC2 was around when the dinosaurs were still roaming the earth.
exactly. Probably.
I'm gonna get in big trouble for that. I know it.
But Jericho, just his longevity and
I think he's actually had of all. I know he may not be the greatest draw in wrestling history, but I think in terms of longevity, in terms of reinventing himself, and with Forbidden Door later on here this morning in the UK, I think that Jericho very well might have had the greatest career of any wrestler in terms of reinventing themselves. May not be draw, may not be championships, may not be draw, but in terms of consistently reinventing themselves, I think Jericho, and I heard this on the Broken Skull podcast. I think I might have referenced it. I don't know if it was you, but somebody. And I think I said that. I think I look at Jericho's career. I mean, here was a guy that's constantly every 2 years reinventing themselves. So that's a good one.
Absolutely. So yeah, Jericho's got to be one of them. I think Stone Cold, maybe. In a lot of my brawling sense, I'm very vicious. And we all know Steve Austin's got that rattlesnake sting, vicious, just a very vicious man. And Randy Orton as well, very cold, calculated. I like to think I'm quite, smart when it comes to doing things in the ring. I don't just lose my head like most people do and then just, cost myself. It's part of the reason why I'm undefeated. It's because I'm smart and intelligent. So yeah, Jericho, Stone Cold, and Randy Orton, for sure. And we'll throw the Miz in there because I just love that guy. Because his charisma's certainly rubbed off on me. And
I've got to give him credit for some reason. I mean, Dancing with the Stars. Obviously, his show with his wife and just his own. Another guy that, I mean, you think about it. I mean, he was a guy that was, I think, one of the last Tough Enough participants, and was on, I think, The Real World years back on MTV. And who would have guessed that he would have been in WrestleMania and won the World Championship and been multiple time champion and multiple this and multiple that, and really impressive here. But that individual who we spoke of once again here returns back, and I do got to get to my announcement. So I really got to get to it. But wait, Bentley is above you, but Angel and Rarebit are not. Not to take anything away from Bentley, but I consider Bentley the world champion, of course, of GT Ministries. Jack Johnson, who I might add was very impressive of disposing of UKW champion Mustafa Khan, Gareth Angel, Sean Only, Rarebit, and of course the metal god Alex Borland are all top caliber talent. They could be considered the top guy on any given night. And I throw this, and of course, thank you to this individual, by the way. Thank you for reading my mind. Also throws in Disciple because Disciple and Bentley did main event a GTM show earlier this year. So I'm glad that at least he threw in Disciple. So you want to respond to that real quick before I get to the announcement?
Absolutely, and not to discourage, as I said, but right now, Bentley, as I said, is on his A game. And, Mr. Angel just recently lost the championship. So it's a little bit on a iffy one there. So, if they want to put Angel on a pedestal after just recently losing a heavyweight championship, sure. But, that's why I stated that I would love to face Angel and Rabbit, because they're two big men like myself, and I don't think wrestling of our caliber and wrestlers like ourselves are appreciated as much. We're more than just these big, slow, sluggish beasts who do big moves. You'd be surprised by the things I can do. I've just recently uploaded some training footage, and you'd be surprised at some of the stuff I can do as a big lad myself. But it wasn't to discourage Angel or Rabbit in any sense. But it would be an honor either way to face either of them. And of course, Bentley, as you mentioned. And of course, absolutely, Disciple, who's on a mission of wrecking everything and anyone in his way right now, as he stated. But, I just want to fight. And if any of those individuals would like to settle a score, clearly some of those individuals have an issue with me having an opinion. And putting certain individuals above others, it's a little bit, I'm not one to discourage egos, but, seems a little bit when you think, certain people have just lost heavyweight championships, and whereas another individual is on the run of their career right now. But again, it wasn't to discourage, it would just be an honor just to get in the ring with anyone. And I just love wrestling. I've stated this the first time I came on this show.
Oh, I know you're going to continue to say how much you love wrestling here. And I have comments, but I'm going to have to, unfortunately, just get to one more because I have to make my announcement. Then I have to get Sammy Blue on here because I promised Sammy Blue, because I have an announcement for Sammy Blue also that I have to break when he comes on here. So I'll get one more comment. So Kyle Kennedy ahead of Disciple. Wrestling is the Kyle Kennedy show. Boy, I'm not picking right now at the moment. So I'll say, though, that I like the Lawman Kyle Kennedy and I like Disciple, but I wouldn't mind seeing them in the ring. How about that? But the Lawman Kyle Kennedy, and I appreciate some of the comments. I know Danny Lowe's has a comment. I've got a few others. I appreciate those comments, but unfortunately, I'm going to have to table those comments because I have to get to Supersonic Sammy Blue. So let me get, though, to my announcement, because the Lawman Kyle Kennedy, you're going to be curious to hear this announcement because we have received word, actually, as we've been recording here with you live tonight on Sportswire Radio, that Champ Rogers, the Super Dad, the Patriarch, he's messaged us here. Apparently, he wants to come back on live. He wants to come back on Tuesday night, 7 o'clock British Standard Time, but there's a bonus to this. He's actually saying he wants to come on live, but he also wants to have you come on live with him and basically have a face-off between you and him. 7 o'clock British Standard Time. He's actually gone so far that he knows he can't hug you right now. He knows he can't hug you from the stream. He knows that he can't see you get in that ring. But he wants to talk with you. He wants to have a chat, a conversation. I don't know if there's going to be tea involved. I don't know if there's going to be crumpets. I don't know what's going to be involved. But apparently, we have to break it here tonight on Sportswire Radio that Champ Rogers, 7 o'clock British Standard Time, but also he's challenging you, the Lawman, Kyle Kennedy. The Lawman, Kyle Kennedy. I mean, you have to respond to this because apparently Champ Rogers has now gone on the record here right now live with everybody listening, watching, that he's challenging you to come on with him.
Just like I physically dismantled you and brutalized you on March 6th, Tuesday, 7 p.m., I will verbally dismantle you. Yes, I accept. I will see you here.
Wow! Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first on Sportswire Radio, the #1 global radio station, that we are going to have 7 o'clock British Standard Time. Make sure you get your popcorn ready. Make sure you get into your seat. If it's hot where you are, get that air conditioner on and stay where you are. And if you have to, maybe even get a seatbelt and tighten it, because Champ Rogers and the lawman Kyle Kennedy face to face. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned, because if you thought on March the 6th that these two guys got it on, you just wait till the lawman and the super dad come here live with us. Plus, we're going to have another announcement related to Champ Rogers. So this is going to be, I promise you, this is going to be even bigger than it was before with both of them. It's going to be better. It's going to be even badder, because I got something on my mind that tells me that the lawman Kyle Kennedy and Champ Rogers, it may never be the same here on Sportswire Radio. Nonstop Action Wrestling may never be the same again. So I can't wait for that. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, this is huge, huge, huge news. The lawman Kyle Kennedy, I want to give you the floor. I want to give you some closing thoughts. If you want to take a further thought or two at Supersonic Sammy Blue, you want to take a shot at management in terms of where they've been in terms of not announcing you as a participant in the 8-person tournament to crown Nonstop Action Wrestling's first ever world-class champion, August the 13th. Feel free to address anybody else you want. I turn it over to you, my friend. I give you the floor now, and fly her away.
First off, Sammy, I've really got no words for you, in fact, because I cannot be bothered with your childlike, incoherent, pathetic little crap that you like to just grow up. I bet you're a wrestler and yet you act like a child. Grow up. And NSAW management, I know you don't have the time. I could go on for 10, 20 more minutes about this, but I'm just going to lower it down just a bit. The fact that you have a serial loser like Connor Cage, the golden boy, is quite literally there. Golden boy Connor Cage hasn't won a single match. And yet, for some ridiculous reason, he's in the tournament. Are you kidding me? What BS is that? That is ridiculous. How? How is it? And we haven't even gotten to the rest of the field of the tournament yet. So you better pray to whatever deity you believe in. I am in this tournament. So I promise you, if you think verbally and over social media, I am a problem. Just think about how much of a problem I could be and will be at your shows. Think about what could happen on August 13th. So I could get my boys of the society and we could turn that whole show upside down like that. If I'm not in this tournament, that is a beast. Ironic, because I'm Mr. Justice, the lawman. But if I'm not in the tournament for August 13th, and we have all these other nobodies and all these losers and people who can't even draw and put butts in seats, I promise you, August 13th will not go ahead without a hitch. I find it incredibly disrespectful that I'm not even promoted or talked about or shown or celebrated a serial winner for your company and even announced for the we'll put it out there right now for the biggest show in your company's history, and you do not have Kyle Kennedy nor the Society on your card. You should be ashamed. That's all I've got to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, in fact, this was so explosive before we get to Supersonic Sammy Blue that what the lawman Kyle Kennedy had to say, that Joshua Snow has finally responded. He says,
"Hi, boss.
Then why don't you take him on? I'll book it. Connor Cage versus the lawman Kyle Kennedy. Let's go.
Please do.
Beat him and you get your spot."
Yeah, I'll take that. And if not, why not change it like this if that does happen? If and when, not if, but when I beat him, he goes and I'm in.
And in fact, the man himself, Connor Cage, just responds, says anytime he'll take you on. So, I mean, boy, they're coming for you. The knives are out for you tonight, the lawman Kyle Kennedy. I mean, we knew you were going to be in the mood, but certainly a lot of people, they're taking shots at you because you know why? You keep winning. You're undefeated. You've increased your winning streak. And certainly you had an announcement at the top here to recap before we move away from the lawman Kyle Kennedy and transition to Supersonic Sammy Blue, and the fact that July the 3rd, next week, Blackheart Wrestling, you will be there at that Rumble, and you will certainly be one of those participants that could very well win that. So obviously a big, big time right now for the lawman Kyle Kennedy. And Joshua Snow, again, comes back in, says, and let's do it. Beat him, and his spot is yours. If he beats you, then you have no place to talk.
Send me the contract. I'll sign the contract, then send it to Connor. He can sign it, and then we can get to the NSAW Asylum, and I will whoop your precious little golden boy.
I got a better idea. How about this, the lawman Kyle Kennedy? You talked about a contract signing just now, correct?
Yes, sir.
How about this? I'll even go further on Sportswire Radio here. I'll go even further. I'm going to do this. I don't know if this is going to be any kind of shoot. I don't know how Mr. Snow is going to take it. If you want a contract signing, we'll do it live here. We'll get Kyle Kennedy to sign that contract. We'll get Connor Cage to sign that contract right here so everybody can see it. So everybody can know out and about in public that we see that if this takes place here, there's no funny stuff. There's no shenanigans. Everybody, listen, management, everybody else fill in the blanks is all at bay. Everybody gets to see it out and about. The lawman Kyle Kennedy signs the contract. Connor Cage signs the contract. And if that happens, they can have that match. And again, if the lawman Kyle Kennedy wins, he's in that 8-person tournament. So I'm throwing that out there here on Sportswire Radio. If Nonstop Action Wrestling wants to do it, you pick the time, you pick the place, and let's make it happen.
I'm more than down for that, Mr. Brice.
And apparently, Joshua Snow says, that's something I wish to be a part of. Let's get this on. So I'll tell you what, I'll even go further. So make sure that there's no funny business. Everybody's impartial. That contract signing, the lawman Kyle Kennedy, Connor Cage, we'll put Joshua Snow. Everybody can sign that contract. Everybody gets to sign. Everybody gets to speak with each other. It's almost like everybody can be impartial right down the line here on Sportswire Radio. And so, I mean, that's something that we'll do here. And Jenny Hayes says, jokes aside, Kyle knows his target and he's aiming. Absolutely. No question about that. Andrew says, I think that Connor Cage will win. Stay tuned. Richard Knights, though, comes and says, we would not miss this for the world. So apparently, Mr. Knights, he definitely likes that. So we'll figure out a time and date. Obviously, though, in the meantime, Tuesday night, the lawman Kyle Kennedy is back with us, 7 p.m. British Standard Time, to go one-on-one in a face-off with the Super Dad, the Patriarch, Champ Rogers. You are not going to want to miss this. And ladies and gentlemen, you are getting a big fix right now of the lawman Kyle Kennedy because apparently the lawman Kyle Kennedy is right. He puts butts in the seats. He gives us listeners here on Sportswire Radio. He's bringing followers to Nonstop Action Wrestling. He is bringing Nonstop Action Wrestling attention from all over the world. Blackheart Wrestling here in America, obviously GTM, and wrestlers from all over the place. They're coming after this guy. So apparently, you know what? As Vince McMahon would always say, what's best for business? And right now, what's best for business is the lawman Kyle Kennedy. So Tuesday night, 7 o'clock British Standard Time, he's live with us once again with Champ Rogers. We will also have him back with a contract signing with Connor Cage and Joshua Snow to announce that if Champ Rogers was 7 o'clock, but also if the lawman Kyle Kennedy, he wins in that contract signing, once that's signed against Connor Cage, he will take his spot in that 8-person tournament to crown the first ever Nonstop Action Wrestling world-class champion August the 13th at Fire and Gold. It is a very, very, very busy time for the lawman, Kyle Kennedy. My friend, I look forward to Tuesday. I can't wait. Certainly, you were a busy man, and I guess maybe, after all, this plan you had, or somebody out there listened, and just maybe you might be getting what you wished for.
Absolutely.
All right, my friend. I'm looking forward to it here. And, of course, you can follow the lawman Kyle Kennedy, Mr. Justice Kyle Kennedy on Instagram, Justice Kyle Kennedy on Facebook, Lawman K. Kennedy on Twitter as well. Also, YouTube, like his page as well. So we thank the lawman Kyle Kennedy here on Sportswire Radio.